Top 5 shaders for MCPE. Starting off with the Nexus Ultra shader. This shader is made to be incredibly vibrant and brighter, and we also have darker defined shadows. What makes this shader super duper amazing is the fact that it does not require any type of high-end device in order to run. As you can tell, we are able to run it with little to no lag. And take a look at the water right over here. As you can tell, the water has this amazing little wavy animation to it, and if you look closely, you actually are able to notice that there is a reflection of the clouds on the water right over there, which genuinely makes this shader just far more realistic. But if we go underwater, here's how things do look like. So things look a little bit trippy. There is a distortion effect, but I believe the lighting pattern is just completely glitched out, so that is a little bit unfortunate, not gonna lie. Also, you'll notice that there's even a reflection of the sun on the water over here, which is just such a nice little detail that I like. In terms of the clouds, we just have your regular blocky clouds right over there. Here's how the sunset of the shader does look like. So as you can tell, we have a nice beautiful sunset right over there. The sun looks absolutely amazing, and we get so many different shades of orange and yellow, and it's all being reflected on the water over here, which once again just makes the shader far more realistic. Next up, we have the Zelta Legacy shader. The Zelta Legacy shader is another aesthetic shader that I absolutely love. We get brighter lighting and way more darker defined shadows, as you are able to tell right over here. In terms of the clouds, we actually do have a little bit of photorealistic clouds over there, which definitely is a nice touch. But personally, my favorite thing about this shader has to be the water right over here. So for starters, the water has really realistic, like wavy animation to it, which I absolutely love. And we're able to see all of the different lighting over there, which is definitely pretty cool. But if we go underwater, here's how things do look like. So as you can tell, we actually do get a distortion effect underwater, and we get this really cool lighting pattern as well. I love how the colors are a little bit saturated, but not to the point where they like completely burn your eyes or anything. They put a decent amount of saturation to the shader. And here's how the sunset of the shader does look like. We have a nice beautiful sun right over there, and we have so many different shades of orange, yellow, all that good stuff. Look boys, we're able to see all the stars everywhere as it slowly turns to nighttime. Next up, we have the owl shader. The owl shader has some of the most realistic and beautiful textures out there. For starters, we have darker and defined shadows and brighter lighting as well, and they actually do make the colors a bit more saturated, so it really is up to personal preference. I'm not really a fan of the saturation, to be honest. You'll notice that we have a nice photorealistic sky right over here with nice looking clouds that definitely do enhance the shader a ton. And the water is basically made to be the same like the vanilla Minecraft, which will definitely help out with performance. But if we go underwater, here's how things do look like. As you can tell, we do have a slight distortion effect. We have new water particles, and also you're able to see all of the distinct shadows that are on all of these blocks right over here, which is definitely a major plus. And look at that nice photorealistic sun right over there. Unsurprisingly, the sunset looks absolutely phenomenal. We have a nice beautiful sunset over here with so many different colors coming out of it. We have lots of shades of orange, yellow, all that good stuff. Next up, we have the AziFy BE shader. The AziFy shader is all about performance. This shader will basically work on any device and is FPS friendly, meaning that it's not going to cause any severe lag or anything like that. So for the most part, everything is the same like the vanilla Minecraft, but we still do get darker shadows and brighter lighting as well. Take a look at the water over here, guys. As you can tell, it does look pretty basic, but if we go underwater, you'll notice that we still do have a distortion effect and this cool lighting pattern as well. Overall, this shader feels very aesthetic and is definitely something that I can use. And even if you have like the lowest end shader, 1 GB RAM and all that, you should be able to run this shader no problem. And here's how the sunset does look like. It's simple, but it gets the job done, and it actually looks pretty good. So as you can tell, we have a reflection of the sunset on the water over here, and we have so many different shades of orange. Lastly, we have the aesthetic fantasy shader. The aesthetic fantasy shader makes the colors way less saturated, but they definitely do make everything way more brighter, and we still do have darker defined shadows. Now this shader definitely is a vibe, and what I really love about the shader has to be the water once again. So as you can tell, the water has this amazing detail to it over here, like this water animation as well. Like it looks super good, and also we do get a reflection of the clouds on the water as well, which is definitely a big help. But if we go underwater, here's how things do look like. So as you can tell, underwater we get this really cool distortion effect. In terms of the sky, we actually have pretty realistic clouds over here, which I absolutely love. And also we even get a reflection of the sun on the water over there, which is a nice touch that I love that they included. And here's how the sunset does look like. So as you can tell, we have so many different shades of yellow, pink, all that good stuff, and it's even being reflected on the water as well. See you later, French fries.